You're at a dinner party, or maybe a barbecue, and you're standing in a circle with three friends from high school. One of them is talking about their renovation. The other is complaining about the taxes on their rental property. And the third one is checking their stock portfolio on their phone. And you stand there, smiling, nodding, but internally, your stomach is in knots. Because you know that if your car breaks down tomorrow, you have to put it on a credit card. You know that your retirement fund is basically a checking account with 3 months of expenses in it. You do the math in your head. I'm 40. I have 20 years left. Is it over? That specific anxiety, that feeling that the window of opportunity has slammed shut on your fingers, is one of the most paralyzing feelings in personal finance. But here's the thing. The math says you aren't done. The math says you can still win. But you cannot play the same game you played in your 20s. The rules have changed. The introduction. My name is Thomas, and I spend way too much time thinking about the mathematics of retirement and why our brains are wired to sabotage our bank accounts. If you're someone who feels like you've wasted your compound interest years and you're looking for a realistic way to catch up without winning the lottery, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we aren't doing generic tips. We are building the catch-up blueprint. Part 1. The Ostrich Effect. Why we are here. Before we look at the numbers, we have to address the elephant in the room, or rather the ostrich. Psychologists have a term for what happens when you turn 40 with low savings. It's called the Ostrich Effect. It's the tendency to avoid negative financial information because it causes psychological distress. You know you're behind, so instead of logging into your 401k to see the damage, you ignore it. You focus on work. You buy a slightly nicer car to feel successful now because you don't feel successful about the future. This creates a death spiral. The longer you ignore it, the worse the math gets. Here is the reality check, straight from the Federal Reserve. The median net worth for Americans aged 40 to 44 is around $135,000. But that includes home equity. If we look at financial assets, meaning cash and investments, the median is often less than $50,000. If that's you, take a deep breath. You are average. But average in America means you're going to be working as a greeter at Walmart when you're 75. We don't want average. We want freedom.
So, how do we fix this? In your 20s, your greatest asset was time. In your 40s, your greatest asset is intensity. Let's look at the standard compound interest curve. If you start at 20, the curve does the heavy lifting. You put in a little, the market does the rest. If you start at 40, you don't have the luxury of a 45-year slope. You have a 25-year slope. This means we have to manipulate the variables in the wealth equation. Here's the specific math. If you have $0 today and want $1 million by age 65, assuming an 8% return, you need to invest roughly $1,050 per month. If you wait until you are 50 to start, that number jumps to $3,000 per month. The difference between starting now and starting in 10 years isn't linear. It's exponential pain. Part 3. The double gap strategy. Now you're shouting at the screen, "Thomas, if I had an extra $1,000 a month, I wouldn't be watching this video." And fair point. But this is where most people get it wrong. They try to budget their way to $1 million by cutting Netflix and avocado toast. That won't work. You need to use the double gap strategy. Gap 1. The earning gap. You are entering your peak earning years. Statistics show that male earnings peak around age 48 and female earnings around 40 to 44. You have more leverage at work now than you ever did at 25. Negotiate the raise. Switch companies. The average pay bump for switching jobs is significantly higher than staying put. If you are complacent in your career, you are costing yourself your retirement. Gap 2. The lifestyle deflation. This is the controversial one. Most people get a raise at 40 and upgrade their lifestyle. You need to do the opposite. You need to live like a broke college student for 24 months. Look at this chart. This is the relationship between what you spend and what you need to retire. If you spend $80,000 a year, you need $2 million in portfolio, using the 4% rule. But if you can crush your expenses down to $50,000 a year, you only need $1.25 million. Here's what most people don't realize. Every dollar you cut from your monthly budget does two things. It frees up cash to invest right now. It lowers the amount you need to survive in the future. It is a double-ended weapon against poverty. Part 4. The Big Three: housing, cars, and kids. So where does the money come from? It's not coffee. It's the Big Three. 1. The house. If you are house poor, you are retirement poor. If you're sitting in a 4-bedroom house with a massive mortgage and no savings, you might need to downsize. I know it hurts the ego, but would you rather impress your neighbors now or eat cat food later? Selling the big house to buy a smaller one or a duplex can instantly free up the $1,000 per month you need. 2. The cars. If you have a car payment, you are voluntarily lighting your future on fire. The average new car payment is over $700. Invest that $700 into the S&P 500 for 20 years, and it becomes nearly $400,000. Drive a used Toyota. Your ego will heal.
Number 3. The kids. I love kids. I have them. But we are guilty of performative parenting, travel sports, brand new electronics, private colleges we can't afford. Here is a hard truth. The best gift you can give your children is not being a financial burden on them when you're 80. Prioritize your retirement over their tuition. They can get loans. You cannot get a loan for retirement. Part 5. The catch-up buckets. Now let's get tactical. Where do you put the money? Because you are older, you have access to cheat codes that 20-year-olds don't have. Number 1. Catch-up contributions. Once you turn 50, the IRS allows you to put extra money into your 401k and IRA. Right now, in 2024, the 401k limit is $23,000, but if you're 50 plus, you get to add another $7,500. You need to spend your 40s building muscle so that the day you turn 50, you can max that out. Number 2, the HSA, Health Savings Account. If you have a high-deductible health plan, this is the best retirement account in existence. Triple tax advantage, tax-free in, tax-free growth, tax-free out for medical. And at 40, you will have medical expenses later. Number 3, the brokerage account. Don't get fancy. A low-cost total stock market index fund like VTI or VOO. Don't try to pick stocks. You don't have time to recover if a single stock goes to zero. You need the market average compounded. I want to leave you with a different perspective. When you're 40, you feel old compared to the 25-year-olds on TikTok. But if you live to 90, you aren't even halfway through your adult life yet. You have a second life starting right now. Colonel Sanders didn't franchise KFC until he was 62. Ray Kroc didn't really start McDonald's until his 50s. You have 25 years of runway. That is a massive amount of time. But you have to stop looking in the rearview mirror. The money you spent in your 20s is gone. The bad investments in your 30s are gone. Forgive your younger self for being financially illiterate. They didn't know what you know now. Here is your homework. Tonight, not tomorrow. Calculate your net worth. Face the number. Find $500 in your monthly budget by cutting something that hurts. Set up an auto transfer. If this helped you, hit the thumbs up. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need it. Subscribe if you want more of this kind of real, math-first financial content. And drop a comment below. What's one thing from this video you're actually going to implement this week? I read them. I'll see you in the next one.